Today on the Big 3 in 30, the Mavericks get a win over the Lakers.
Cooper Flag goes off for 45 points.
As LA misses out on a win to help its playoff position.
The news for the Lakers just kept on getting worse and worse and worse.
And the Celtics take down the Raptors.
An incredible game from Nemish Queta.
This is the Big 3 in 30 NBA. The three biggest stories in the NBA from our local experts at the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you the real story, why it matters, what's next, who wins the big game, and more. All in 30 minutes. The Big 3 in 30 NBA starts now. Thank you for making the Big 3 in 30 your first listen of the day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Mavericks picked up a win over the Lakers last night, and Dallas got another huge performance in the process. Here's Nick Angstadt with Slightly Biased to explain on Locked On Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks winning this game against the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka out, Austin Reeves out, Marcus Smart out, but Kyrie out, Lively out. The Mavs decided to keep all the guys in, and Cooper Flag goes off for 45 points. Becomes the first rookie since Allen Iverson to have 40 points in back-to-back games in his rookie year. Absolutely insane. And to follow up a 50-point night with a 45-point night is legendary. That's insane. That is not something that a normal rookie does. We even last game when you and I sat on here and were like, 50 as a rookie, incredible. 50, the youngest player ever to get 50, the first teenager ever to get 50, all that, all the different things. There's still that. Well, Brandon Jennings had 50. Brandon Jennings had 50 as a rookie. Undisputed that two back-to-back 40-point-plus games and a 45 and a 51-point game shows just how much you can do on the NBA level. Yes, it's April basketball. Sure, you can say that. Yes, it's this Magic team that's really weird, and yes, it's this Lakers team that didn't have a lot of guys, but in an NBA basketball context, doing what he did without real guards to set him up, without a great Mavs context that we've been talking about all season, Cooper Flag went out there and just showed what he's fully capable of. If his jump shot's going down, if some threes are going down, and if he can get to the line any single time he wants, this is what can happen.
Yeah, and the last two games are just the dream when you think about Cooper Flag and his scoring profile and what he can be moving forward. Because the game against Orlando, the 51 points, it was a three-point shot that really kind of turned on for him. Tonight it was getting to the free throw line and shooting 17 free throws. I think 2 of those were intentional at the end, but 17 free throws, made 15 of them.
I thought you were going to go grift angle. I thought you were going to go.
No.
2 of those were grifting.
Yeah, I don't care. All of them could be grifting. Again, I'm a grifting defender. I think
they still count.
Yeah,
they still count.
I support grifting 100%. I think you're an idiot if you don't. So Cooper Flag, it's the free throw line. It's a 3-point shot. It's back-to-back games where it's, if he gets to a place with his jumper, which all of the priors tell us that he's a good 3-point shooter. Yeah. All of the free throw shooting percentages, all these things point towards him becoming at least a solid 3-point shooter at some point in his career, and getting to a point where you're doing that comfortably and taking threes. And then tonight when he's so good at getting downhill and getting to his spots where you just imagine him getting stronger and becoming a little bit more of a physical presence, and that leading to higher free throw attempts. These games back to back, just it's because he had this stretch, obviously not this much scoring, but he had that stretch before he got hurt where it was like, oh yeah, Coop has turned a corner somehow in some way, something clicked, and now he's just become this scoring monster. And tonight, and a couple nights ago, you've seen him just really tap back into that.
And coming back from injury, there was something going on. His jump shot was not going down. That's where a lot of the concern came from. That's where a lot of his rookie of the year momentum really got taken away or lost a lot of steam because of how much he was struggling. But these last 2 games, man, first half he was 2 of 3 from 3. He only took 1 in the second half, but it looked like he was more confident in that shot. And then he just didn't really even need to go to it because he was hitting his mid-range shots. He was hitting floaters, hitting runners. And that stuff, the touch around the rim, just separates him from so many other players that have come in with the same kind of get to my spot and rise up, or get to some spot or have a mismatch against somebody because I'm bigger and can dribble. There's so many other guys that come into the league and have that kind of stuff. And they go high in drafts, but then you don't have the touch, you don't have the the ability to score in multiple different ways, and then you just kind of get phased out. And Cooper Flag, that ability is just next level for somebody as young as he is. It was incredible to watch. 8 rebounds, 9 assists too.
Yeah.
Couple steals. He had 3 steals at halftime, so they took a steal from him.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about what an injustice that is?
Yeah, congratulations on your trash garbage league, Adam Silver.
At home, too. What about home cooking? What about home cooking?
A couple of days ago, it was the most blowouts, biggest margin of victory across the league, and it was the second biggest or whatever it was. Then a month ago was the last time it was as big as it was. And then today, you had a team, the biggest point spread in the last 30 years, and the Thunder still covered against it. Great league, Adam Silver. You let us have nothing fun, and you give us nothing but slop all the time.
What was that Thunder Jazz score?
Yeah, it was like 30 points, and the 35 points.
35 points.
The Thunder were a 25-point favorite. Yeah, great league. But anyways, yeah.
That's like a first-round women's basketball, college women's basketball game. They were all like 50-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean, a nice one. And at halftime, I tweeted this out, but I guess it's null and void now because Adam Silver's league. But it was only the second time in NBA history that a player and a half had 25-plus points, 5 rebounds, 4 more assists, 3 steals, and a block. And Dwayne Wade in 09 when he was just like insane. It was the only other time. So, again, it got taken away from us because, Adam Silver's league is horrible. But we did have that for a tiny bit.
Is that the takeaway? That's the takeaway from today?
It is, yeah.
Cooper Flag's living in a failed league.
Yeah, it definitely is.
What do you think about the way the Lakers defended him? It was driving me insane where I was like, am I actually seeing what I'm seeing? Because it just felt like every single shot was over Luke Kennard. And
you mean defensive juggernaut Los Angeles Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, this Lakers team, going into this game, I told as many people so many of you came up to me during games, and people were like, what do you think about the game? What do you think about the game? I'm like, they're going to win this game. The Mavs will win this game because this Lakers team, without Luka, without Reeves, just is missing so much. I mean, we know what happens when Luka is out for games, right?
Yeah.
And LeBron, give LeBron credit. It's you and me on the show today, and if Isaac was here, he wouldn't, but I'm glad it's you and me. 30 points, 9 boards, 15 assists. 15 assists, 4 turnovers, like with as much as he handled the ball. And he had some dunks that just reminded you of just how one of one he is as an athlete. And at 41, I mean, the amount of steroids he probably is taking to be able to do the things he does.
Well, did you see that Luka's not getting treatment in the States? He's going to Europe.
Well, he's got to go. Well, I'm not going to make that joke.
No, he's going to Germany to get the good stuff.
Hey, maybe he learned. Maybe the Lakers guys have that Kobe Bryant recommendation still from when Kobe went to Germany. Honestly, maybe Dirk told him. maybe Dirk.
Maybe, yeah.
Dirk should go get that done with his ankles.
Yeah, I think LeBron literally went to. Oh, that was Kobe, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kobe did that famously.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this Lakers team was just obviously undermatched. But the Mavs played all their guys, and Cooper Flag led the way, and it just so much stuff became easy. And you saw what a Cooper Flag-led team is going to be able to do no matter what. They're going to be able to get out in transition. They're going to be able to get stops on defense sometimes. And like push the pace. They're going to be able to score because in the half court because Cooper Flag can get you a bucket whenever he wants. The Mavs have to put a lot of those things together and make it coherent basketball. But I mean, we saw. I mean, I think the last 2 games we've seen the peak of Cooper Flag, like what he's capable of.
Yeah, and tonight, and I don't know if it was just because the Luke Kennard piece of it all, but tonight was like really the I wouldn't say the first time, but this was. Out of any game we've seen from Coop this year, this was the game where I was like, man, he's just beating his defender off the dribble, like one step off the dribble all the time. Like he's just getting into the paint whenever he wants without even really needing a dribble move. Like this was, I wouldn't say the first time, but just the most I've noticed it in a game where it's just like, oh, Coop's just like blowing by whoever's in front of him at will, or especially if they get out and run or in transition. He is getting to the paint no matter what. So, yeah, I mean, to have all this wrapped up, all that stuff we already knew was there with the playmaking feel, the defensive stuff, and now it's, again, the game, it's just the best of both worlds. The game a couple nights ago, he's shooting a bunch of threes, and you're like, oh, wow. If that gets there, you see it. He did attempt another one of those going right step backs tonight. Did miss it, but and then tonight was getting to the free throw line a ton. So
he's just got so many options, and that's what makes a superstar. You've got all the options in front of you. I said this a lot about Luka as he was coming up. I say it a lot about so many different players. It's like the difference between a Cooper Flag and a Chet Holmgren is they both had all the options in front of him, and Cooper Flag's putting a lot of them together. Chet's doing a lot of great things, defensively and all that, but like the scoring and the getting to the basket and all that, like the shooting has just not all come together for him. And for Cooper Flag, you see the vision, you see where it could go in these 2 games. Man, he was good. And then drawing in the defense and getting more assists and kicking out to guys and finding open players. I mean, he's just next level, man. He's 19. He's the youngest player in the league. I cannot state that enough on this show, that he's another level.
It's tax time, but for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth and wondering if they really get your situation. But this year you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve, while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person, and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to TurboTax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. The Lakers fell to the Mavs yesterday, and now the focus turns to what went wrong in Dallas. Brian Kamenetsky is joined by Brian Hawkins on Locked On Lakers with more.
I just want to get your reaction to what we have seen since Thursday. Do you remember waking up Thursday morning going I am so excited about this game. It's going to be, a measuring stick and, Luka versus Shea for the MVP and all that. Oh my God.
When I woke up on Thursday morning, I can't stress enough how I was like, oh, this is great. We can get another tester for the Lakers and see where they're at, because we know the gap between them and Oklahoma City, especially the San Antonio Spurs that they have been playing. And then, of course, as you said, the MVP race. We've seen how the numbers have shown, especially in the month of March, where the Lakers were 15-2 and Luka Doncic averaging 40 points in that month of March. And we're like, okay, we can see if the MVP race can get nailed down just a little bit of a puncher's chance for Luka Doncic. And then, oh no, that game happened against Oklahoma City Thunder, and then went down in a way we're like, oh man, it went really, really bad quick. And then Luka Doncic going out with the injury, and then in a span of 24 hours, we see news, not only Luka Doncic having to be out for the rest of the regular season, we see news that Austin Reeves was going to be out with a left oblique. So the news for the Lakers just kept on getting worse and worse and worse.
And it was delayed. Did you see the news that it was, JJ was talking about this, the at practice on Saturday. The news on Reeves was delayed because the folks doing the MRI in Dallas scanned the wrong part of his body. It's that kind of when it rains, it pours sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's when you go in for surgery, they have to make sure they label the right leg to do the operation on or whatever. They did the wrong leg. It was oh my God.
And you start to see more and more JJ Redick seeing his frustration. Now it's to the point where, okay, what are they going to do with this whole Lakers, the medical team and stuff like that? Because if they can't narrow it down and get something right like that, then, we got to get this department right.
Yeah, I will get to this. The game again in a second here. 134-128 again is the final. There's stuff to talk about with this game, but there's at the same time, there's certain things that you just kind of can't really, you can't fault the effort. You can't fault, there are only so many things you can kind of criticize about what the Lakers did on Sunday. The point you're making is an interesting one, because the Lakers have had, it seems like every other year they're turning over some portion of the medical staff. They're doing, the training staff is turning over, the surgical staff. They're aligned with UCLA, and then they weren't before. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there. I'm always really careful to be somebody screwed up medically. They didn't diagnose Luka properly. I think Reeves, they recognized what was going on and were it is what it is. It's not going to get worse. And you can play if you can get through the pain, because tomorrow you're not going to be able to move. Exactly. But with Luka, I don't know. He's been grabbing that hamstring for, 6 weeks, and grimacing and clutching and grabbing different parts of his body. But the larger point, does new ownership believe that they have like the best training staff? Do they have the best medical support system? All this stuff, like this is all stuff that's going to be looked at in the off season.
And just seeing how the turnaround has been with the whole new ownership group of Mark Walter, the whole Guggenheim group, and honestly, we're seeing that the Lakers don't even have a real legit scouting or scout team. You know what I mean? So that's
Still
another
haven't
thing.
hired anyone, as far as I know.
They haven't hired anyone. So that's another thing that they got to look into heading into the offseason. Then, I mean, you've seen the frustration. You've seen JJ Redick making the comments, like you said, as far as like, they did testing on Austin Reeves and the testing didn't go, as expected. And so now you got to look into, okay, is this going to be the right medical staff heading into the offseason for Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and making the right decisions? Because, all the stuff that came out as far as Luka Doncic was already grimacing in pain throughout the, that first half. And then the question mark comes in as far as, should he have continued to play, knowing that he was already dealing with some hamstring soreness? And so, you can have those conversations. You can have different types of opinions on it. How JJ Redick and how the Lakers have been. They always have been a team that they're going to compete. No matter what the score is, they're going to compete for a full 48 minutes. They've shown, especially through the second half of the season. And I get both sides of it as far as take them out, because that you're not going to win this game against Oklahoma City. Hell, they're already down by as much as 20 points at the end of the first quarter. You can make that argument as well. Just sit them down. Don't, just rest them. Get ready for a Dallas Maverick. Get another day off in between that game. And then as far as Austin Reeves, you can make that case as well, because he had that possession where he was chasing after a loose ball.
Yeah.
And you saw him immediately reach after his left side and then keeping him in the
game. He left the floor and went back to the locker room. They checked him out and he came back and he did okay. It's all relative for the rest of the game. Like the thing about Luka too, that it's like, obviously had they known he was going to, hurt it worse in the second half, they wouldn't have let him play. But like you obviously don't get the benefit of that. But I think, JJ said that the reason they left him in was, he was going to play 6 minutes and we were going to try to eat into the lead and see what we could do. And I actually don't believe that. No, that's sort of the standard, NBA head coach. You never give up on a game. Very rarely does the starting lineup not come out for the second half of the game just because of the score. And so it's like, I really actually don't believe JJ's explanation there. I think they were trying to find, with another game coming up on Tuesday and a potential first round matchup against these guys, or they believe an opportunity to see them in the Western Conference Finals if they maintain that 3 seed and kept playing. I think they were looking for something that they could put on tape that would give them a little bit of confidence and like, okay, here's where we can attack them, because they played Oklahoma City really well last year. 2 out of the 3 games this year, they've gotten their asses kicked. And so I think they were trying to find something that they could use to attack so that whether it's Tuesday or down the road, they feel like there's something in the tool belt to win. That makes sense. It makes sense to me. It's obviously not worth Luka getting hurt, and we know the answer now, but like, does that, at least from a theoretical standpoint, make sense to you? No, it doesn't make sense to me, because if that was the goal that you're trying to accomplish and seeing what, in the margins and, how you can get better at as far as defensively, or how can you, attack Oklahoma City, as far as an offensive standpoint, then, is that really much a good sample size? Because, the Oklahoma City was, again, they were up by 20 plus points at the end of the first quarter. And then the lead just kept on growing and growing. They were not going to win. They were not going to win. They were not going to win the game. They were not going to win the game. That much. So if you have that mindset that, okay, what can we grab from these moments to see what we can improve on, knowing that this could be a potential second round matchup with Oklahoma City, then okay. But it's just hard to kind of look at that perspective, only because that you can just see the gap between the Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's just the only reason why I just keep on coming back to that, is that just sit them out. Just sit them out, let them rest, just take that loss, and then get ready to go, for the game. It would have been nice to see them
heading into the Dallas Mavericks game, get some more momentum. And then
Yeah.
you got Oklahoma City coming where? To LA on Tuesday. And so that's another matchup to kind of get them back. You know, they got to travel to LA. So that could have been a different approach. I feel like there's a whole different.
Welcome to the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft. With 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy, there's something for everyone. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and I've got my number one pick for the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft, Confetti Craze, a delicious blend of rich and buttery, freshly baked confetti cake, smooth vanilla frosting, and a sprinkle of sweetness in every single sip. And of course, it still gives you that classic energy that you know from 5-Hour Energy with zero sugar involved. Find your new favorite flavor of 5-Hour Energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed, sponsored jobs help you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed. That's according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all the boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves. It's over at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support your show by saying you heard about Indeed right here. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. The Celtics took care of the Raptors last night as Boston keeps stacking wins with the postseason getting nearer. Here is John Corrales with Locked On Celtics with more.
The Celtics got an incredible game from Nemish Queta, who is just absolutely, I think, rolling right now. He had 18 points, 7 rebounds. He's just been phenomenal for the Celtics recently. And as I try to call up my my box score, things just disappear on me here. The way he's been able to here on offense, read the what the defense is doing and make the appropriate play, especially in the pick and roll. Just when to get in and out of the picks, when to stick on the pick, when to slip, just the variety of things that he is able to do and how he's able to execute these things offensively has been great. Not just the finishing, because he's a big guy, he's going to finish at the rim. He has a nice little floater and all of that stuff. But for him, understanding offensively the defense, are they switching? I'm going to slip. I'm going to get out of this quickly. I'm going to if they're up to touch and you need them to you need to just free up Tatum a little bit. It's the sticking on the screen or the rescreening. If whatever it is that they're doing, he's understanding it better than he ever has before, and it's opening things up for everybody, especially Tatum and Brown. And this is an important, I think, element to what he's been able to do. You can't blitz Tatum and Brown. You can't blitz when Queta is setting a pick, because he now understands, okay, I need to short roll here and give them the option. And when he short rolls, he's making the right reads. And it's still a work in progress. There's still things that he can improve on. In fact, there was one play here where he was looking specifically to get a handoff. I think it was to Peyton Pritchard. Jaylen Brown cut down the middle and was open. Sam Hauser was wide open for 3, and Nimi got a little too singularly focused on the play and not understanding what was going on behind him. Still something that he needs to work on. But even so, he's still able to, make that next right play, make that next right read. He's able to find guys and make the passes, move the ball, do these things. I said the other day, I wrote on Celtics on SI that he's doing kind of a Luke Cornett impression, which is a compliment, and some people might say it's unfair because he's his own player. But in what he's able to do in terms of, Luke was able to move the ball. He never held the ball. It never stuck with him. He would get it. If it was in a short roll, he would just get it and move it. He was great at just getting the ball to change sides of the floor. So it's not just stagnant. It's not just on one side. It's, okay, defense is stacked up over here. Just get it to me. I'm going to move it to the other side of the floor. We're going to get the defense moving and see if we can't get something free. That little stuff, like those little things those were Luke Cornett's specialties, And those are things that Nimi is starting to really excel at. Now, is he going to be better than Luke, as good as Luke? Whatever it is, Luke was really good last year. If Nimi can be better than that or as good as that, then fine. Whatever he is, he is. Whatever he's going to be, he's going to be. I'm not putting a ceiling on the guy. I'm just saying that right now, he's doing these little things that open things up. So offensively, he is setting the screen, rolling. Is it a roll all the way to the basket to score? So be it. He's done that now 2 games in a row where the defense is reacting to Tatum with the ball, and Tatum is just like, yeah, boink, there you go. You get the pass, you get the finish, you get dunks, you get easy assists. Tatum is racking up assists off of Neemias Queta finishes. Is it passes? Then it's passes. And I don't even know how many assists Queta had. 4 assists. So that's perfect. If you can get 3, 4, 5 assists out of that guy, oh my God, then everything changes. If you now are watching the Celtics, the other team, right? If you're scouting the Celtics and you're watching, I think the book is going to starting to be out on them now. The offense is, I don't want to overreact and say it's unstoppable. It's stoppable in some senses if you can get them to turn the ball over, which they're generally pretty good at, but every once in a while when they turn it over, they really turn it over. But you're watching Queta, and it's like, how do you attack Tatum and Brown if Queta is capable of beating you now? That's going to be the conundrum for other teams. That's the major factor as to why this is such a huge development, why this is a big deal, why I'm starting with Queta above Tatum and above Brown in a game they combined for 49 points. Because now Queta has developed to a point, just from beginning of season to now, he's improved so much that Jalen, he called it, what do you call it? A privilege. Jaylen Brown called it a privilege to watch Queta improve the way he has. And he said from beginning of the season to now, it's like night and day. So that kind of stuff makes Queta incredibly valuable. And that's just on offense. On defense, I swear, something I've never seen before, how many Raptors were more afraid to go into the paint when Queta was there. They weren't challenging him. I saw in this game more than I've seen in any other game, I think. Drivers, wings, getting into the paint, seeing Queta, and deciding, making their business decision. I'm not going to attack this guy. We're going to go reset it, and we're going to do something different. And it's a big difference. I'll get to Vooch later, but Vucevic was in there, and Murray Boyles tried to end him with a poster dunk. Mamukelashvili had a drive when he was looking right at Queta and was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move. So in almost within like a minute or two, you had plays where one of the centers was challenged hard at the rim. Your other center, your defensive center, kind of scared the Raptors off, scared a driver off. So more than, hey, he had 3 blocks in this game, which is always nice. And he had that one monster block from behind that he hit off the rim and off his own face, which is funny. He had yet another block where somebody was being posted up and he just rose up behind the guy, behind his own teammate, and blocked the ball at the top, at the apex. That's just hard to do, but he's doing it. Beyond those plays, which are great, he is now entered rim deterrent, not just rim protector. He is now a deterrent at the rim. So I am, again, for the second podcast in a row, going to say how impressed I am with this guy, because it's been just this incredible run, and he is playing his absolute best basketball right now in early April, heading into the playoffs. It's incredible to see, and I remain just impressed by everything that he's been doing.
That's all for today's Big 3 in 30 NBA. If you follow football or college sports, the Big 3 in 30 has shows for the biggest news in the NFL and on campus going up every weekday, just like this one. Just search the Big 3 in 30 NFL or the Big 3 in 30 College wherever you're listening or watching right now. Thanks again for tuning in to the Big 3 in 30 NBA.